In today's video, we're looking at some of the top professions in the UK. We're going to look at their average salary per year and compare it to an Amazon FBA seller. This is a question that we get asked all the time. How much can an Amazon FBA seller actually make? Welcome back everyone to Deal Hunters. I hope, of course, you're all well. This video is a very popular one. We get asked this question all the time. How much money will I make? What is the return on investment? Well, let me just simply put it, there's no way of possibly answering that. It really is a case of how much you put in is how much you'll get out. For example, if I was to start today doing Amazon FBA and my starting budget to buy goods was £100,000, if my return on investment was 30%, I would get £30,000. However, if I started off with £1,000, 30%, exact same return on investment. The difference is instead of getting £30,000, you're going to get £300. That is effectively how difficult it is. Everyone's input's going to be differently, and not only that, you've got the goods and all the different parameters that come along with it. So before we get into today's video, let me just quickly explain what is Amazon FBA. It's fulfilled by Amazon. What that means is I pack up goods, you ship it in Amazon, and they take care of absolutely everything else: storage, shipping, customer returns, dealing with the customer, management, all of that. They charge a handsome fee for the privilege, but what I like about Amazon FBA, it's giving you the tools to get access to the biggest brands to allow you to resell them. And Amazon, let's be honest, is the biggest marketplace in the entire world. When you're thinking about buying something, where do you go? Straight to Amazon. So that is what you're paying for. Let's just get straight into it. Amazon FBA allows sellers in the UK to reach a broad market, leveraging Amazon's logistics and customer base to maximize their sales and profits. As we just said at the start, you're harnessing the biggest platform search engine for goods. That way you're going to generate sales. They are effectively advertising their products for you. Well, potential earnings, let me just tell you where we've sourced all these information from. We've sourced this information from Amazon's quarterly earnings reports. We've got them from some FBA websites. We've got them from standalone accountants for their information. We've also just got information from Forbes and Cosmopolitan. A nice rounded collection of information. I have then pumped it all into ChatGPT and asked it to spit out a lovely presentation for you, which I have tweaked, and now we are presenting it to you. And it is spitting out that the new sellers approximately earn £48,000 annually in profits. And not to confuse this with the USA, it is a different ball game, and there is much more money and generations if you look into that. Make sure if you're doing your own research that you're checking out the UK just to have a real close comparable. Established sellers, which I would take as anyone from 5 years over, there is approximately 15,000 UK businesses surpassed £100,000 in profit in 2021, which is a hell of a lot of money. Monthly earnings then, that would equate to about £900 to £22,500 per month in your back pocket. That would be phenomenal. Profit margins, over half of Amazon sellers achieve profit margins higher than 10%. And if you go to AMZ Scout, they have done this little graph for us, and this gives us an indication of kind of the percentage of the pie. The profit margin of 31% is your 21 to 50%. So anyone in 21 to 50% profit, that's the sweet spot. That's exactly where you want to be. And there's 31% of those people. Profit margin between 11 and 20%, so that will be on your lower end, is 35%. Profit margins of 1 to 10% is 23%. So that to me is pretty much the whole chunk of the pie. And realistically, if you're earning between 1 and 10%, it's not on the great return on investment side that you want to be on. However, that would tell me that it's maybe a private label product, and private label product is where you are the only seller on it. And if you're the only seller on it, then you're not in competition with other people. You can have a lower price because it's factoring in a lot of different things, perhaps a brand, perhaps it's also factoring in that you're trying to drop your price to generate sales to increase your brand, so you can then increase your prices. So there's always going to be people in that margin for different reasons that are happy to be in that margin because they've got a goal that's only for a temporary time frame. Businesses are not profitable was 8%, which is just, if you're not following the checks, if you're not doing the right things and being careful at the start, this will be you. You will fall into this trap. If you don't do your own research, don't ever trust anybody fully. Always double check everything. We give you the guide and the tools to do it. We also give you the leads. We always say just vet the leads. Be sure that your business is suited to it. Going back to what I said at the start, everyone's business, if you're VAT registered, if you're not, everyone's business is going to be slightly different depending on where you are. So you have to bear that in mind. No deal sheet's ever perfect, but our deal sheets, we guarantee a 30% plus return on investment, and that is again going into the higher margins category that is shown here. There is people that will get 51 to 100% margin, and that's a 3%. Probably on a consistent basis. That's likely to come from some sort of wholesale deal or a private label deal. You're unlikely to be able to replenish a deal like that very often. I have done, and I've showed on the socials and on this channel, my trains just get me 115% wholesale replenishable. Love that deal. And then we've also had deals where we've had up to 1,000% return on investment. That has been clearing stuff that has been on the shelf, clear the shelf, never be able to replenish it. Stock that's being sold by Tesco's, they just get rid of it. Super cheap, great selling, great deal. And some of the categories with high profit margins are computers, video games, handmade books, something like that. So if you do customize things, that's going to be very unique. You can almost command your prices. Video games, a CD, effectively it's a CD. That is so cheap to build and make, and huge profit margins on that. Okay, so now let's just compare this. So we're saying 48,000 roughly for new sellers. When I say new sellers, I'm talking probably after a year. You will start to see that kind of money being realistic within the year. But your first 3-4 months, you should be considering just getting your head around the business, understanding how the Amazon model works, understanding how to use the systems, print labels, stick in boxes, post, doing returns, getting ungated. There's a lot to get your head around. So initially, you're not going to just out the gate running. The only way you're going to be able to achieve sort of that kind of money initially is if you're out the gate running and you've put a huge investment in it. I'm assuming people are starting off with about £5,000 to £1,000 and they're casually doing this and getting their head around the business. I don't think you're going to do this type of money in the first year. I know I didn't do that type of money in the first year, but towards the end of the year though, I started going, oh, this is looking good. This is projections. This is telling me that this is starting to turn. If you've missed Q4 and you start off in January, it's going to be slow to get going those load of months because you're missing the most important start of the year, and you'll catch that by the end of the year though. So it's all relevant, but at the start you might find this isn't going too great. So bear that in mind when you start Amazon FBA. What time of year are you planning to start? That would equate to monthly earnings of about 900 to 22.5, depending on where you are. I always say this to people, if they do things right, they follow our deal sheet, there's no reason if you pack one box a week where you won't be turning in around £400 to £500 per month on top of your normal salary or whatever. All you need to do, and this is it, this is the mindset, all you need to do is sacrifice about 2 to 3 hours a week. That's it. If you can do that and do what I did, stop watching Coronation Street. Honestly, that's exactly what I did. I stopped watching Coronation Street. Just say to Ken Barlow, you'll see him again. I've got to get my head down and start sourcing and getting some deals on here and get these boxes packed up. And once you kind of narrowed it down and you've got a wee bit more comfortable with things and you can kind of go on autopilot, you can stick back on Ken Barlow. You can tune while you're packing the box and watch it at the same time. So now let's look, how does this compare? We're saying about 48,000. After you get the teething problems out of the way, we're saying 48,000. Graphic designers on 28. A market executives on 30, primary school teachers on about 36, social worker 33,000, chef 25,000, a PT 30,000, which actually seems quite a lot for me, a journalist 32,000, accountant at 40,000, a nurse 31,000, software developer 45, human resource HR officer 32, electrician 35, plumber 34, sales executive 29, customer service representative 24, civil servant in and around those types of range brackets. My level, I got to about 45. Got to that point a while ago and I just started thinking, is this it? Is this me forever? Am I just going to sit here and hope for that pension? Bear in mind, the pensions nearly went bust about 2 years ago. I don't think there's going to be a pension in the future. I don't want to wait till I'm 68, which will probably be 70 for a pension. I like to always push, always move on to something different. People that follow the channel, and the stock channel especially, will know that with me and my wife have flipped 5 houses. We're just constantly trying to find new ways to make money and grow and develop, and it's something that I'm passionate about, so it comes with excitement to me to take on businesses and set up businesses and learn about them and get my head around it. And it's been a great journey for me for the last sort of 5 years. This has no ceiling, which is what I like about it. I can keep grinding, keep growing, keep getting bigger. I'm in the process of setting up my own brand. We're looking at private label products. I just keep thinking, where could I be in 3, 4, 5 years time? Where if I sat in my normal job, probably at the ceiling, I know where I'm going to be in 5 years time, probably moaning, waiting for Friday to roll around, same jokes, same people, same crack. I'm not about it. And that's just me, and it's not for everyone, guaranteed. You're happy enough being a graphic designer, you're a primary school teacher, you know, these are something that you're passionate about. You know, if you like helping people as a social worker, no harm in it, absolutely no harm in it, and you're happy getting your paycheck, no risk, fair enough. So this is the type of thing that anybody can do. All you need is a bit of work ethic, strong mindset, averse to a bit of risk, and have a few quid on the hip. If you can do that, you can do Amazon FBA. And the best bit about it is you can minimize your risk as much as possible by using good tools, using services like Deal Hunters, and also watching YouTube for free. Check out our YouTube channel, plenty of content that'll get you set up. You can do all of this yourself while you're doing your full-time job. Say goodbye to Ken Barlow for, you know, a couple of months. Learn this. Do this, and I don't believe you'll regret it, because it's not something that I've regretted. It's completely changed my mindset, and it's getting me to a point where I'm going to be financially free. That's not a prediction, that's more of a spoiler. That is what is going to happen. Me and the Deal Hunters team, we're driven people, we're a good mindset of people. Feel free to join our free Discord if you want to get in and have a chat with any of us. That's more than welcomed. And in conclusion, selling on Amazon FBA in the UK can be highly profitable, but it requires careful planning, effective product selection, efficient cost management. Many sellers only achieve significant sales and profits. Others may face challenges related to competition, fees, and regulatory compliance. That's the video. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that Amazon sellers can make as much money? And that's the average. Like I said, those jaws that we looked at, yeah, there might be, you know, a few swing here and there, a bit of a promotion, but normally they'll top out. There's only so far you can go. Once you got to the top of that ladder, unless you're happy to sit there for 30 years, that's it. You need to have something like me to keep yourself sane. Amazon, there's no ceiling. How high do you want to go? Are you going to open up a brand? Will that lead to a website? Will that set up a different company? Will you start a YouTube channel? There's so many things you can do. And if you like that excitement, then honestly, setting up a business, Amazon FBA business specifically, is something worth considering.